And welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the Beacon Breakdown. Very special episode because this week we have
Tristan Leonhard?
our lovely director here, and we're matching, of course, unplanned.
I was just say it wouldn't be a week of us getting to see each other without us matching at some point. So
Yes,
we held true
obviously.
to it's like multiple weeks in a row at this point.
It really is. I mean, that's what happens when there's only like three of these official esports,
Right?
outfits. Oh, but yes, a very special episode because this is going to be our last episode of the year and my last episode ever. And we're getting started a little early here because it is a busy night. But just kind of want to take you through the last week because last week was the start of our playoffs, the start of our quarterfinals. We had a lot of action. Our League of Legends teams kicked it off on Wednesday against ERAU. Unfortunately, losing that series, but there was a little bit of a mishap and a reschedule and a whole mess of things in there.
Yeah, it's like uh, when you're on a run and a team calls a timeout to kind of stop that run, except this was like a 16-hour timeout. It really kind of threw things off. So we ended up taking game one. Riot servers go down, and then it didn't really find our footing. But we actually just spent the last 20 minutes or so talking with Coach Chase. We're really excited to see the NECC Nationals points. Our League of Legends team had a fantastic fall, winning the championship there. A great season, even number one in that season. So we're waiting to see what the point totals look like. We hope we're very hopeful that they are going to see some Nationals group play action here in May. But the team overall just had a fantastic season, even in the spring.
Yeah.
Overall.
No, 100%. I mean, I agree. I think they did a lot of great stuff. Just kind of an unlucky one there with the server issues and whatnot, kind of throwing them off. But better news on the Overwatch side, a very divisive win for our Beacon team here against A State in the quarterfinals. Moving on to a much more competitive matchup, hopefully, this week.
Yeah, and again, Beacon. Gosh, it seems like we just had our first Beacon breakdown. I was on like the first
Yeah.
three,
Do you
and
know?
then
Do you know what number this is? 24.
holy cow, like yeah,
Yeah.
I was on the first three, and now it's 24. But it
Yeah.
feels like that took place in the last like 4 minutes, right?
Hmm.
This year has just flown by. So, when I think of Beacon, we've seen how they've grown throughout this whole year, really in the next division. We talk about Beacon kind of having that chip on their shoulder this whole year. Had the national championship run in the NECC last year.
Yeah.
Came into this year, we knew they'd go up. And not only did they go up division, but each player kind of raised their own game, and so they've
Hmm.
had this built-in chip all year long. And you can see it in that first round matchup this semester, right? The
Yeah.
last semester maybe didn't go the way they wanted, but this semester they're like, hey, we're coming back, we're coming for what's ours. And again, they're fighting for a national championship berth or a national tournament berth. So yeah, they came out Thursday on fire and are hoping to do it again this week.
Yeah, honestly, high expectations here. They're probably our most improved team. So really seeing, I think they have a real chance at, closing out a win here in the spring semester. But we'll have to see. Unknown time on Thursday. It's going to be their big semifinal game. Um, our other Overwatch team hasn't played yet. That's going to be coming an hour from now. So they actually rescheduled to tonight. They're going to be playing against King's College in an hour, which should be projects to be a win for them.
Yeah, they faced Kings what a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
It was a pretty decisive 3-0 victory, but at the same time, this is a different season. Playoffs are totally different. I know they're not taking it one lightly,
Yeah.
but they're still hoping to come away and try to defend their fall championship as well.
100%. Taking a look at the Rocket League side, our Brown team went against an all familiar opponent here, Mount Union. Their third matchup of the semester, and unfortunately, their third loss, knocking them out of the NECC playoffs.
Yeah, and the thing is that Mount Union team is so strong, right? And it was 3-0, but I think the game scores were a lot closer for anyone who tuned into that matchup this Friday. I mean, games 1 and 2, we had multiple shots at the crossbar, that could have
Yeah.
changed the entire thing. things. So, we were a couple inches away in game one, couple inches away in game two. Game three, a little different in game three, but
Hmm.
at that point, Mount Union's just so strong.
Yeah.
But Brown, again, and when we're talking about teams that really improved, maybe the win-loss this semester didn't show it, but overall, Brown's growth this year was just tremendous.
Yeah.
They were so competitive, game in and game out. There weren't. I can't remember any games that I really looked at it and said, "All right, we're overmatched." Right?
Yeah.
No, I felt like we were in it quite a bit, almost the entire year. It just kind of how it falls. The Rocket League divisions in the NECC are so
Yeah.
strong outside of champions. We went to Gleck and we went to the Gleck land and Mount
Hmm.
Union was right there and we were right in it too. So
Yeah. I
it's
mean, I
just
was going to say, I think those NECC divisions have been, kind of a tough draw, just on the skill level from what I've been hearing from these guys. But the growth, like you said, kind of really showed in the GLEC, the way they closed out that season and able to upset Anderson. So a lot of good wins in our other conference, I would say.
yeah. And gold then, while Brown was happening, I was furiously texting trying to see what was going on in the gold game. But
Yep,
Rock Lee Gold squeaked one out with a 3-2 victory over SUIC, and they'll be playing this Friday. Time TBD, as
of course.
but they'll be playing in the semifinals of their spring season this
Yeah.
Friday.
I was watching a couple of those matches before we rolled into the Brown stream, and it was tight. It was certainly 3-2. I mean, we had a couple of long overtimes in games one and two that they managed to pull out, and I think this team, they're gritty. They definitely you don't count those gold guys out. That's for sure.
No, and again, it's a theme with each one of these teams, right? But how much has gold taken a step forward?
Right?
Right. I mean, just gameplay, communication. Gold took that step when we asked them to. All right, and
Hmm.
they, at the end of last academic year with nationals uh, and the spring semester championship, I think they were a little frustrated, when they lost in the championship there. But again, it's that chip mentality. We talk about it a lot here at Valpo.
Hmm.
Kind of punch it above our weight. You hear our
Oh
president say
yeah.
that a lot,
Yep.
but we really do that, and I think we take that mentality into things, and Gold embodied that, and is trying to do their thing.
100%. Not a competitive match, but another big event here in Valpo Esports. On Friday, we hosted an intramural Smash tournament, and it turned out quite well.
It did, and a piece of history, the first one we've ever hosted, right?
Yes, of course. Another first. There's a lot of them here.
Yeah, no, we've actually held some video game tournaments within intramurals before. So
Hmm.
within campus recreation, we've always tried to take our intramural sports and hit the widest net we can with students. And we've had tournaments in the past. We've had Madden, FIFA, 2K. But we said, in talking with Chris Smith, our assistant director, we said, we have a lab, we have massive TVs and Nintendos. Let's do a Smash tournament. We were kind of worried when the numbers were like 4 or 5. But
Yeah.
he threw out another email, and all of a sudden, I got a picture Friday night, and the lab was full. Yeah, we had 16 people. Some of the Smash teams showed up, so it was a lot of fun. And it's not the last one. We will
Oh,
say that.
that is for sure. I mean, I was there Friday night, and it was the liveliest I might have ever seen the lab. I mean, we had 16 competitors, a lot of their friends showing out there to support, and our Smash team absolutely loved it, helping out these guys, kind of learn the game, run through their first tournament. So it was a very fun event, and congrats to Brett who won it on the Jigglypuff. I
I was
know
just
we
say
are.
on the Jigglypuff.
Yes, I know we were certainly impressed with his skills. So yeah. Well, you kind of mentioned it, but this year has been a whirlwind overall. I know on my end, it seemed like it had gone by so quick, but kind of looking in the retrospect, we've really taken a lot of steps forward as a program this past year. I mean, I just kind of want to hit on some of these and talk about, what has gone on over this past year for us.
And I hope when I do whatever this is, if we do a recap show next year,
Yes.
I hope we're not talking about anything new. I want a year where we can just do our thing. When we talk about the first thing, the lab, right?
Hmm.
Opening this new lab this fall has just been tremendous. Um, it's given the team, the players credibility. We are very, very lucky to be one of the few teams to have this type of space available to them. I mean, we really are. And we think about where we've come from. When we had 550 square feet. We were
Hmm.
pretty excited about that. And then we got 550 more, so we had almost 1,100 square feet. But then to come to this 3,500 plus 2,000 of offices and this streaming room we're in
Yeah.
now, it's incredible. And it's really allowed us and the teams to truly be back in person. I think that's one of the things. When we
Yeah.
had the space that we had, it was small. And as much as COVID, hasn't been ruling our lives this year. It was nice to see everyone back. It was nice to constantly come in to a lab where there were people here. There has not been a time where I've come to the lab and it's been empty. And I
Yeah.
think that's just been because we have this dedicated space. It's great. People want to be here. They don't. They aren't cramped in a corner upstairs. But it really is just kind of a staple of what this program's become.
Yeah, and I mean, it really was such a huge step forward. Like in terms of the space, I think it was just a shock for everyone, really, to be like, all of this is ours. Like, we can use all of this. So we've really had to, grow into it. And there's even those little side rooms and offices that aren't even being used yet.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. We just went through the other day and we are like, hey,
mhm.
what can we store here? What can we put here? Because
Yeah.
we're still learning it ourselves. But no, it's just been phenomenal. We will use every inch of this space pretty soon. But we'll
Yes.
get to that here in a little bit.
Yes. But with the new lab did come growth of the program. We talk about numbers of our players, our student athletes, and that has certainly gone up as well over the year here.
Yeah. We started 4 years ago with 5 or 6 people. The year after that, 20. The year after that, ended the year around 40. Um, all in all, between stream and teams and club now, we're over 65 people. And it's just incredible to see. I never thought we'd get to a number that was
Yeah.
over 40. Someone told me last year, they're like, your goal is at least 100 people in the program, and I'm like, no way, there's no way. And now I look at it and I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, we can do
We
this,
can
yeah,
get
we'll
there.
see. Yeah, but no, it just the growth of the program. I've been very appreciative of you, of the coaches, of the captains,
Yeah.
because we've been very intentional at slow growth, even though it looks like we've kind of exploded, right? I think we've really been purposeful at growing the right way. Um, we've done all this growth and haven't added any teams, right?
Right.
We haven't forced the issue. We haven't just added nine titles and said, all right, we're
Hmm.
going to grow that way. We've really kind of grown internally and gone from there. I've been very, very purposeful in saying I don't want us to overextend. I don't want us to do too much and taking that route. And so I think we've done it the right way. Will we push the envelope? We'll see.
Yeah.
But we're going to take those little steps and kind of go from there.
Yeah, but like you said, kind of growing within the things that we've already built. I think we have two Overwatch teams, we have two Rocket League teams, and this semester we kind of had two Smash Bros teams. So
Hmm.
it's really expanded kind of within those core titles that we've been, working on building. And this year we did actually kind of have three Overwatch teams as well with the addition of a club team. I know this is something that we talked about for a while, but talk to me a little bit about what adding a club team element to this program has been like.
So really, the club team edition, and again, a purposeful step to
Hmm.
try it out. We wanted to see how this worked with Overwatch before we went any further. But really, the addition of the club team to Overwatch, in reality, the idea of the club, um, comes full circle. When we started this program, obviously I was coming from an athletic background. I want to win championships, but the idea behind the program was, hey, this is something where we can build a community. This is something where we can really add a space and provide value to students at the university to provide a home. I love being able to come down here and uh, I use it lovingly because I am one, but I love being able to nerd out, right?
Yeah.
I love I love just being able to talk video games.
Yeah.
But that's community. That's
Hmm.
another space that can go. And um, s- so we started from the competitive angle because we knew we could do that. And again, we wanted to be smaller. We didn't want this to just explode and go wrong. And so the club angle really is starting to fulfill the final piece. We have teams that want to win championships and want to be better. We have kind of that second level, that academy piece that feeds into that varsity level, so we can continue that competitive rotation.
Yep.
But we know there's a subset of students out there that love video games and just might not be competitive or might not have the time to be competitive. So, and they really feel that club level. So, the goal has always been to add club, and we know we can get there. But we wanted to demo it out, and I mean, you know it. You got to hang with them, but I think the
Yeah.
Club Overwatch team did just that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's been a great addition. Like you said, definitely a different, vibe, a different style. These guys just showing up once a week, if even, we have enough to rotate in and out. They can just show up a couple times a month and just, play some Overwatch with, some other people that just want to, play some video games for fun. And, Christian, our assistant coach, club captain, I don't even know what to call him anymore, but just Overwatch guy, I guess, has been great with kind of organizing that and getting those guys there every week, and it's been a really fun time. I know that they've had a little pizza party before, and they're just hanging out having fun. So
And the cool thing about the club level for us is they still compete with some of the big teams, right?
yeah.
They're not just hanging out in the lab and playing Overwatch once a week against random people. We put them into the NECC. We
Yes.
said you're representing us. It's a little more laid back, not as competitive, but you're still fighting week in and week out in the NECC. They probably wish they won a few more games, but
Yeah,
they,
we won't talk about the playoff
yeah, right.
performance.
But that's okay because they still did so well, and we got to put them in a semi-competitive atmosphere, and it really did well.
Yeah, very great opportunity for them. But our competitive teams had some really big opportunities this year. We actually traveled down to Columbus twice this year, and we took quite a large group, which was a big step up from, what you had done last year.
Yeah, last year we took Smash. It was a fun trip, but it was only 7 people.
Hmm.
This fall we actually took Smash and League of Legends, so it was really cool for our League of Legends team to get to travel to Columbus. They actually went to the Ohio State game arena.
Yep.
So it was a new land location, so that was really cool. And then this spring we actually went back to Columbus, but went to the Hilliard game arena. But this time it was actually Overwatch's first land and Rocket League's first land. So we ended up taking total of 5 teams because Smash went again in the spring. But yeah, we have 5 teams traveling this year,
Yeah.
which was just a lot of fun. And really, it's kind of not a bucket list thing, but
Hmm.
it's some things that some of these players are like, I didn't know if I'd ever get to do this because
Yeah.
only the top 8 teams qualify. So,
Right.
they earned that trip. We went down, we fought hard. The spring land, 15 schools in the GLEC, we end up getting fifth, fourth, and second.
Yeah.
That no championship this spring, but you know what? That's a heck of a showing. So it was a lot of fun just getting the chance to provide that experience. Sorry, I didn't provide the experience. They earned that experience, but
Yes.
getting
Yeah.
a chance to go down with them and see them represent Valpo was really special.
I mean, it's always such a fun environment. I mean, LAN is kind of that pinnacle of esports, and it's such a different, atmosphere than when you're here in the lab and, you're just playing online like you usually do. But, you get to these trips, these playoffs, and you get there and your opponent's sitting right across from you. You've got a ton of people behind you cheering, going wild. So it really is kind of that peak competitive experience for these
Right.
guys.
And it was really cool to see too because again, some of these players had never experienced LAN, and it is truly a different atmosphere, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
somewhat unnerving at times, So it was
Yes.
cool to see them experience that kind of competitive nature too. And the big question though from the LANs is, did you catch up on sleep?
I did somehow, those early mornings, those trips, I'm running on near empty, but we get through it, we get the coffee,
Right.
we get the raisin canes, so that gets us going.
Yeah,
So
I will say it was the fall trip. We took three vehicles and we ended up sending League in one, Smash in one, and then Mike and I took another smaller vehicle.
mm,
And it was pretty quiet for us. You and
yeah.
I hung out, and then on the way home, you got to rest a little bit.
I
as,
did,
as
yeah.
I listened to true crime podcast. Um, but this time we actually drove Rocket League.
Yeah.
Um, but that was a lot of fun too. It was a
No.
little more lively
It,
after we turned the lo-fi beats off.
of course, yeah. No, it was fun, having the other guys in the car. I made it through, without a nap this
Hmm.
time, so improvement there on my end. But yeah, definitely good to travel with those guys and hear, all their little stories and whatnot. So
Or the 4 hour and 26-minute alphabet game
yes,
may go
yeah,
down in the history of Alpha Esports.
yeah. If you want to check out our last episode, actually, Soren and I did talk a little bit
Oh, did
about
you?
that one.
Okay,
So
nice.
yes, yeah. More details if you go back. Oh, so we're on this pace. You took one team last spring, two teams in the fall, three teams this spring. So what? Four teams in the fall again? Is this?
Yeah,
Is this?
yeah, we're just gonna rent a bus. We'll just
Yeah,
take we'll
yeah,
just take a bus down. Maybe we'll host. No, I mean we have already had our GLEC
yeah.
conference meeting. Our next meeting's not gonna be till June or so, but they've already started planning the fall LAN. So hopefully we're competitive again and get the opportunity to head that way.
So definitely more of that in the future for Valpo Esports. Taking a look at the NECC, we've certainly had some good success this year, especially with Overwatch and League of Legends in the fall securing their conference, their division, I guess, championships, and then obviously still some up in the air for this semester. But we've had some very competitive teams, perhaps the most competitive ever in program history.
Yeah, I think we've been spoiled to some extent,
Yeah,
right? I mean, the NECC is divisional based. It's based on rank, so it's nice. So teams can be competitive semester in semester out in
right.
theory, but our teams have really fallen through. Like they've been ultra competitive this year. Again, we haven't had teams mail it in or it hasn't been close. No, they've been in every single fight it is,
Yeah,
and so to see our teams have that success, reach semifinals, reach championships, bring home the trophies, it's just been so much fun to watch. They're trying to do it again this semester, and obviously, as I mentioned, making sure we get those bids to the national group stage and everything there. So, I think we've been really spoiled the last 2 years, but I
yeah.
know, like I said, we've got next on the list is the recruiting class, but we
Yes.
have recruits coming in to hopefully continue this recipe.
Hmm.
The thing is, we were setting up senior exit interviews, and we don't have very many.
Yeah.
And so we have a lot of these teams that are not senior heavy, and we hope to do it again for the next couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, really good looks as, we kind of move on to the future here. You mentioned over 65 people involved in the program, and we're doing five senior exit interviews this semester. So that's a pretty good percentage returning,
Uh-huh.
I would say.
And five recruits. So we're actually bringing in five,
Yeah.
exiting five. We've washed out. So no, it's we're really excited. Again, these seniors this year, it's not on here, but these seniors are incredibly special
Yeah.
because I mean they've been with us since the beginning.
Right.
You
I
know,
mean, I think Cole and Josh are kind of like the two rocks,
mhm.
Cole, aka Cole Rocks on the Rocket League team, and Josh, also known as Zaxter for League of
I was just
Legends.
saying, can you say it out? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean Cole and Josh been with us since the very beginning. I've
Hmm.
like I said, we were joking at LAN when Cole walked in with his Tupperware. I said, "Hey, I
Yeah.
need that. We need to mount it on the wall."
Yeah.
But so they've been with us for all 4 years. Garrett is
Hmm.
is someone who's been with us basically the whole time. Garrett didn't necessarily start on the team, but he actually came to me his first semester or second semester and said, "Hey, I want to be involved with this somehow. What
Yeah.
do I do?" So this senior class is a special one. Every senior class is special, but
Yeah.
this one, um, we have our first 4-year starter.
Yeah.
It's just been kind of it's been just it's crazy to see the growth and the fact that they've been with us for so long. It's a little extra special this
Hmm.
time around.
Yeah, and rounding out, not to forget, we also have Justin and Karis
Hmm.
graduating from our Overwatch and League of Legends team, respectively. But like you said, we do have lots of recruits coming to fill in, kind of directly replace. I mean, how excited are you for these rosters come fall?
I talk to other schools and talk to other programs, and we talk recruits and how it works and everything like that. And here, I love I love all of the recruits. I love
Yeah.
anyone who comes here. But again, I think the players that we get are so special because they come to Valpo and they're like, this is it, right? It's,
Hmm.
it's kind of how my journey was a long, long time ago, right?
Yeah.
But
No,
you
no,
know,
very recently. Yeah.
very. I mean, they step on a campus and I'm like, all right, yep, this is it. I had a few of these students here who, one traveled from halfway across the country
Yeah.
and steps foot in the lab and they're like, yeah, yeah, this feels right. So
Hmm.
no, we're really excited for these students to come in and again to continue to build on on what we have and what we've started. We already have multiple of these students already in the Discord, already communicating with the
Yeah.
teams, chomping at the bit to get to work this summer after they're out of school and the summer programs have started for the team. So no, it's exciting. It's always exciting, and on top of the ones we have coming in this fall, w- I just got an email this morning from someone who's a junior in high school, and they're like, "Hey,
Okay.
tell me more about Valpo Esports." So
Yeah.
we just got to keep hoping it's going.
Yeah, constantly improving, expanding. Other new improvements, new updates coming next year. Obviously, this is my swan song, so I don't know how much you want to get in the details, but I will be departing, so there will be a new host in this seat in the fall, and somebody new kind of running the grad assistant position.
Yeah, obviously nothing is finalized at this point. We're still going through some visits and finalizing things there, but we do have someone identified that we're bringing in next fall. I can say we're very excited across the board to have this person joining us. I think it's a good time to thank you, Mike. I tell him
Yeah,
week in and week out. I couldn't have done this year without him. This was a huge year for the program. The number of players, the space we have, the amount of games we've
yeah,
played. We've streamed over 110 hours
yeah,
of gameplay. It has been incredible amount of things that you've done this year. And for me, who wears many hats across campus, whether it's intramurals, fitness, group fitness, kinesiology, esports,
yeah,
for me I had full trust in Mike, and for me to turn it over and just say, hey, do your thing, see where you can build this. I can't thank Mike enough. We can look ahead to the new GL I want, but I can't do it without first thanking Mike for everything he's put into this. Um, I did just give him a really old esports jersey, so I'm assuming he'll rep it for the rest of his
yes,
life.
of course.
But Mike just did a phenomenal job with our program, and it's in a better place because of him.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And, I obviously really enjoyed my time here, getting to know all of these guys and kind of help build this program, build these games. It's been a really fun past year. But, I mean, I think that's kind of going to wrap up this episode here. This is my final episode. But obviously, I know the program is going to be in great hands, like you said, with you, with all of our coaches, captains, and whoever comes on to fill my role. So I'm very confident in where you guys are headed. Yeah.
Well, tune in. We still have a few games left this semester,
Yes.
as we'll be putting on some the playoff games coming up next week, and then our fingers will be crossed. Tune into social media, I guess, as we have
Yes.
some hopefully some nationals tournaments announced as we go from there.
Yes. You can always follow the Twitter down in the bio below. Constant updates there. And of course, just a few minutes here, about 45, 30 minutes, we're going to have our Overwatch Shield team kicking off against King's College. So you can catch that one here. But I think that's going to do it for the Beacon Breakdown. I'm Mike.
I'm Tristan.
I'm signing off for the last time.